Welcome to Stand Out from the Crowd, the podcast dedicated to helping professionals and leaders amplify their voice, impact, and influence. Are you ready? Let's go.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome for another live episode. My name is Darine, and I'm the host of the Stand Out from the Crowd podcast. Each week, I interview some of the brightest leaders and entrepreneurs of our time. And as people, we have strengths, weaknesses, we share stories, and that's what connects us as humans. And we talk all about it without filter. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on the podcast. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And listen, beautiful people, this year has been anything but ordinary, right? 2022, a lot of ups and downs, tricky moments, weird moments, beautiful moments as well. And I'm sure, all of you have been building great memories. And as we are now turning, we are turning a new corner and entering 2023. My standout guest and I will review the year's main achievements and tricky moments. So help me please welcome on the Standout podcast my friends here, Melane from Canada, Robert, and Sri from the US. How are you doing, beautiful people?
Wonderful.
We're
How
all
are
so
you?
excited we're talking at once.
So, Milan, are you happy to be with us today?
I am so happy today, and I'm also excited to let go of 2022 and move it.
Really? Ooh, I can't wait to hear why. Robert, my friend, I know you are happy to be here, right? Right?
I am happy for any day that I don't wake up dead.
Good. You want to keep that one also for Good Morning LinkedIn.
I may have used it before, I just can't remember.
And Sri, how are you doing?
I am doing wonderful. I am enjoying the day, sharing the room with my daughter. So,
Oh, she's back for the holiday. She's back from university,
yes,
right?
she is. So every night I am getting her to watch Harry Potter with me.
Oh, that's so cute. How old is she?
20.
Oh, wow. Of course, 20, like even now, my mom is coming next week. And if I can, share the room with her, that's what I would do. That's what we do with mama.
Yes.
I mean, for girls, at least, for me, at least.
I was about to say that's not what men do. No.
Yeah, that's why I have to I had to mention it. So today, so for those of you, and I see many of you actually on the live, so welcome. Leave your comments in the section. Take part in the conversation. What is your best memory of 2022? Let us know in the comment. And what are you leaving behind, and what are you looking forward to in 2023? So do not hesitate to take part in the conversation. So to get started here, I have a couple of questions for you, beautiful people, before diving into today's topic. And I have a couple of never have I ever questions for you.
Mm.
Okay, so and feel free to respond to like if it speaks to you. Never have I ever missed a flight. I have never missed a flight. I say you too.
That I have never have I ever missed a flight.
What's your story? How did you miss your flight, Robert?
You know what? It's funny. I actually posted about it. So in Washington D.C., there are two airports that are very close to one another. If you're in the center, and so I had taken an Uber from Ronald Reagan Airport to my hotel, and when I went to go back, I just picked up my phone, looked at Uber, and it said, "Hey, Ronald Reagan Airport." Now, I'm assuming that the technology in Uber is smart enough to take me back to the location that I just came from. So I just pushed the button. Well, it took me to the other
Oh,
airport. it wasn't smart enough to take me back to the airport I came from. And because, human error, right? I wasn't smart enough to actually check it. But what ended up happening was I eventually switched flights, and the nice young lady at, I think it was United Airlines, she actually put me on a first class flight back. So I was shocked and surprised and amazed.
Ooh.
But yeah, this was, you know what? This was last year, I think, or the year before. It's just last year. So yeah, just
So,
missed
but
it.
you were lucky though, because like I have never missed a flight, but I wish every time I almost miss my flight that I would have been upgraded. That would have been a great experience.
Right.
How
Well,
about
here's the trick, though. Here's the trick. When I got to the counter, I looked at the lady and I said, true story, this is exactly what I said to her. I said, "Do you have a customer service specialist for I did something stupid day?"
so you met her love. That's why she upgraded you, right? That was
Yeah,
the
but I
tricky
mean, and
thing.
I admitted it was my fault because it was 100% my fault all the way.
So yeah, so that's a good story. How about you, Milan?
Long way, Robert, right?
Right.
For me, I intentionally missed my flight. And a couple weeks ago, actually, I need to change the time of the flight because of something that had just come up suddenly, control. And because of the class flight I purchased, it didn't allow changes. And I
Oh,
absolutely couldn't travel at that particular time. I intentionally had to miss it and forfeit it. So my experience, and it was just a few weeks ago, but other than that, I've never missed a flight.
so were you able to book another flight like without
Oh,
extra cost or without like paying a new ticket?
no, did not allow me to make changes to it or anything because it was so cheap. And that
Yeah.
class, because it was so cheap, they wouldn't allow for any changes, cancellations, and just forfeit that entire flight.
So that's a good
So
trick
very
though, because
heartbreaking.
yeah, so that's a good trick though, because like if you cannot change your flight because you have the cheapest option, you know that if you miss it, then you will be able to book another flight. That's a good trick. I may consider it in the future. Definitely.
You can always get insurance. That's the one thing I
That's
always think
yes,
about it sometimes. And even for a cheaper ticket, I'm like, why? But you never know. At the time you book your
yeah,
ticket, you never know. So that insurance, even though it's just a little bit more, it actually would be beneficial.
absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. And I never
So,
bought that class of ticket before, and I knew that I needed to get insurance. So
so next question. Never have I ever ghosted someone. I did. I'm guilty. I must say it.
I'm guilty. I am guilty, but I don't know if you'd say ghosted, never respond back, or ghosted and like maybe 3 months later I responded back.
yes, good point.
Like 3 months later, I would say you ghosted the person then.
But wait, does ghosted imply intentionally doing it? Because I feel like
Yes.
there's a fine
Hmm.
line here, right?
What
No,
I
the
mean, what if the
intention is there.
person is like stalking you or just unwant? I mean, some of us have unwanted comments and in our DMs that we're like, I don't know about this.
But have you ever ghosted someone in person?
Ooh,
Oh no,
No.
I
in
show up.
person, I don't.
I just tell them if I can't make it, I can't make it. But I have been ghosted.
Oh, you have? Yeah,
Yes,
that's not funny.
Hmm.
that's not fun. That's why I don't do it to other people. I at least tell them I can't make it
Right.
or something came up, but I don't just say, yeah, I'm going to be there and then never show up.
Oh yeah, I did it. But I was in high school. Listen, in high school, you go out, you meet some gentlemen, and the following day they are there waiting for you, and you just wanna no longer meet anymore. So you just ghost them, right? I mean, from like in high school for us, that's what we used to do.
Shame, 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 shame.
Savage.
And then it comes back to you later, right? And yeah.
I don't know if I have been ghosted. I think I have never been ghosted yet. So hopefully he won't get back to me. I believe in karma though. So hopefully he won't get back to me. We never know.
Next
Okay,
time we
let's
connect, you want me to say yes, it did.
No, but now I'm a professional. I'm a mature, like I'm a grown-up woman. So now I do things the right way now, right? Okay, but listen, in high school that was freestyle, and that was listen.
So
I go
wait,
with the flow.
you mean now you ghost like a grown up? Then is that what you're saying?
No,
Wow.
no, no. I behave like a grown woman, a professional woman, well-educated woman. Um, okay, have you ever been on TV? Yes. What?
I
When
think
was
so.
that?
It was, I would say, 5 years ago. We bought the local TV.
Okay, so was it to promote your business?
No, it was actually another event that a friend of mine was putting. And interestingly enough, it was drawing from themes that I write about in the book.
Oh,
That was kind of full circle.
okay. So Rob, have you been on TV before?
I have, but so long ago, no one would recognize me. I was in two commercials as a kid.
In commercials?
Oh, nice.
Really? What it was for?
Really?
You know what's funny? Um, one of them was with my mom, and I think it was about, I think it was for an adoption agency.
Okay.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
I'm thinking maybe she was trying to get rid of me and just didn't tell me. Here's a kid. Take him nice.
Take him away.
Somebody with a nice home, take this kid. And the other one was with I played sports, and one of my coaches owned a trophy shop. And so we were all in the commercial for his trophy shop. And so for that, I think he exploited minors. He used us to
Wow.
actually promote his trophy shop.
Oh, okay. Okay. Always interesting stories. You always have interesting stories, Rob. How about you, Sri?
Um, I don't know. I can't remember, but it wasn't for a very good reason why I was on TV. And no, I wasn't wanted by the cops.
America's Most
So
Wanted.
no, I did not make Cops, that show. No, I did not. Or, the first 48 hours. No, it was something personal that happened to the family. It was not a very good event. So no.
Okay, so would you consider like going on TV now, like other thought leaders, as part of building your personal brand?
I think it's a really good way. I mean, we are doing that right now with our channels, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn. This is our network. This is how we are showing up and going live and presenting to the world who we are. Yes, there is NBC, CBS, and these different ways to get even to a bigger network.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that we can start building just with what we have. And then I would love to be on TV. I would love to have my show go on the bigger network. When it happens, it will happen. But we also have opportunities now. How many of you have gone live and then had somebody approach you and say, I want to work with you, or I want to hire you to be my next speaker, keynote speaker?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's never happened to me. Never.
Stop.
Really, really, we don't even believe you, Rob. But how about mass media? Going on mass media, to promote the work, what you are passionate about, the impact that you have on people through either your work or your different shows. That because we I keep hearing TV is dead, but I'm like, listen, like still I do believe getting on mass media on TV. And honestly, I'm asking you the question because I was on mass media 2 weeks ago here in Canada in French and in English. And like I feel like it gave me even more credibility outside of the social media work that I have created for my brand. So is that something that you would still consider, even though people keep saying that TV is dead?
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
Definitely.
Here's the deal. There's an audience for you everywhere. And
Mm-hmm.
if you
Right.
say, I'm not going to do this because I personally don't like it, then you're limiting yourself. I personally don't watch network television anymore,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm.
I still see the value in it because there are millions of people that do.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got to believe, like, who are the decision makers you are trying to get visible to, right? And if the decision makers you are targeting are like maybe 50 and plus, there is
Right.
a probability that they will still watch TV, right?
Wait a
So
minute,
Right.
wait, 50 or plus? What do you?
55 and plus.
Well, there's also like think about it. We watch Hulu, we watch YouTube, we watch these different apps. They all share some kind of news, right? My
Yeah.
parents, we still watch the local news. Why? Because there are things that are happening that aren't being
Yes.
broadcast. I mean, if you don't know where to go, you always know the news is there.
But you can
Yeah.
also watch the local news online now. So
You
that's what I
can.
mean. Different
Yeah.
people have their different preferences, and there's no way I would want to pigeonhole myself or X out one simply because of my personal preference. So
Mhm.
I don't watch
Right.
network television, but if somebody called me up, hey, we want to interview you. When? Where?
I'm here. I'm
Yeah.
available.
Let's go.
Go.
Put yourself
Yeah.
out there, and many different know who's watching. It could be the next executive that,
Yeah.
Yep.
whatever the case. So not limiting
Agreed. We got to stand out from the
your.
crowd.
Always, always.
Yeah.
That's what we're here
Nice.
for, right? And so, Milan, what's your biggest lesson of 2022?
Biggest lesson of 2022 is to let go and press forward, right? I think that we can so pigeonhole into, what has worked. And even though
Mm,
it has worked in the past, we can be afraid. I know that I was in different ways this year, of being afraid to see the new and
mm,
really just allowing myself to launch a new arena and learn as I go. It's okay, right?
That
Letting go of fear and just pushing forward. I know for social media is something that I really pushed myself to become more knowledgeable about and posting things, but there's still a sense of, at least I don't understand the algorithms. I don't, all of these different things, but out there and sharing what only you, your story that only you have, right? And fresh the world. And
yeah.
so with my book this year, I lean into a lot of different arenas that I hired people to do, whatever the case. And so moving into
Mm-hmm.
this new quote unquote beasts, and just learning to let launch out, and you build your wings as you're flying.
That's very true, and that's a beautiful one. And for those of you watching the live and the replay, let us know in the comment what's your biggest lesson of 2022. Sri, what's yours?
it goes into the two words that I'm going to carry into 2023, and that is belief and consistency. Because
Mm,
there were times where I didn't believe in myself, or maybe I didn't believe in the content that I was posting or live. So it was affecting my consistency to show up. And so this one year, it was a journey of being a entrepreneur full time after
mhm,
getting laid off. So there were these layers of onion, like the onion layers. You're peeling off the things that are holding you back, and you're realizing, okay, I can do this. I can build a business, and then putting it into action. I worked with so many coaches, but I realized I was the one holding myself back. And so
mhm.
next year, it's all about, okay, you have the knowledge. I have so much. I know I learned so much. It's now time to apply and learn from it and believe that it's going to be okay and just be consistent. No matter what happens, it's nothing personal. So if you're out there, you're thinking about getting on camera, you're thinking about doing a first live show or just posting that first post because you're afraid of what people will think. You never know until you do it and you learn from
True.
it and you grow.
Right.
You may not go viral, but you could just share your story and it could just be what somebody needs to hear. For example, many of us have posted something. We were so shy and so afraid to share. And once we did, the amount of comments and even DMs that came from it, thank you for being that voice.
Yeah,
Right.
and you are right. Oftentimes we are the ones holding ourselves back because of the
Right.
fear of the unknown, and this is where you hear it. And it sounds cliche because I feel like so many people say it and use it, like go outside of your comfort zone, go outside of your comfort zone. But what does that mean, right? And
Right.
how do you do it, right? And indeed, you too have mentioned it. You learn as you go, especially if you are an entrepreneur. You are never ready to be an entrepreneur. This is not something that you know
Right.
before you start. This is something that you learn along the way as you practice, as you make mistakes, as you learn new things. Like you always learn on the go. But if you don't take the first step, so how are you going to learn and become an entrepreneur, for example,
Right.
right?
Right.
So that's very, very important.
Just to affirm what you've said about the own way, I can tell you as a business management consultant, that is one of the top three goals that I have with my clients is just take them out of their own way, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
And really providing them the tools and to grow their businesses, but recognizing that you have, what's in you to be successful. It's just getting out of your own way, applying those principles and pressing forward. So yeah, the getting out of your own is huge,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
As an
And
entrepreneur,
100%. And how about you? Your biggest lesson, my friend?
You know what? All right. You know how I am, Doreen. So I've had so many big lessons this year, but I can break it down into five different things. Okay. The first one is do what's right, no matter what. Just do what's right. A lot of you have heard my story where I was a chief auditor for an organization, which meant going in and auditing things where sometimes you don't make people happy. I always said that I would do what was right. Now, second thing is treat people right. While
mm-hmm.
doing what's right, I always treated people with fairness and kindness and dignity, which meant that you always have some people that are on your side even when others begin to attack you. Now,
Mhm,
with that said, my third thing is even when you do what's right and even when you treat people right, it still comes with consequences. People
mhm.
may still talk about you, try and slander your character, try and besmirch your good name, but you still need to do what's right and treat people right. But again, number three, it still will come with consequences. Now, the fourth thing is believe in yourself. You
Yeah.
always have to believe in yourself because if you don't, nobody else will.
Mhm.
I left a job with zero income coming in because I have morals and values and character. First year, I made jack crap. Didn't know what I was going to do. Second year was even better. This year was even better. So do what's right, treat people right, knowing that even when you do the right thing, you're still going to have some consequences. Fourth thing
Mhm.
is believe in yourself. My fifth thing is believe in other people. It When you
Mm,
start trusting and believing in other people, it's so amazing the things that could happen. You look at Doreen here. A few years ago, I didn't know Doreen. Now we have a Saturday morning show that we do every Saturday morning.
mm.
Shri, I mean, I met Shri last year, and my life hadn't been the same since I met her. People on
Wonderful.
LinkedIn, I've met so many people on LinkedIn to the point where my entire business is built off of inbound leads. Shafundu, he's in the chat. He just left a comment. I met
Mm.
this guy for the first time live a few months ago now. Ooh, a few months ago now. And I like talking to him personally, even though I hadn't talked to him in a while. So I'm gonna call you soon, man. But when you look at life, one, do what's right. Two, treat people right. Three, just because you're doing the right thing doesn't mean that everything is going to turn out right
Yeah.
for you. You still will
Mm.
have trials and tribulations. Four, believe in yourself. But five, believe in the freaking power of other people. And here's what I'll say. Look at my post from yesterday. Usually I post on LinkedIn almost every day. I hadn't posted anything today because I'm just having a day. But look at my post from yesterday. Somebody that worked with me at my last job left me a testimonial, and it just it touched me. It touched me deeply.
Oh,
Because you never know what people think about you until they tell you, but oftentimes people don't tell you. And so those were my 5 big lessons for 2022. I know you didn't ask me for all of that, Doreen, but you
No,
know me.
but you know that, yeah, of course. And those are great, great tips and lessons. And what I like, is, and you touch on something very important outside of your, the self-confidence and doing what is right. I have two questions though. One question and one comment. The comment I would say is, indeed, you said it right. People, they don't tell you what they think about you. And I think that's someone, each one of us who should work on, because we know how the past 3 years have been very challenging for every single one of us. And I know, we know people
Yeah.
on social media, they will pretend to have the perfect life, the perfect business, the perfect everything. We know it's not true. So if the
Mhm.
content that we share, or when we go live and when we have those conversations, it impacts you, it's important to let people know, because
Yes.
as much as they give, right? And when we host those lives, those shows, and I know Rob, myself, and Sri, we have, each one of us, we have respective shows. I know that's something you want to do also, Milan, because we want to give you, right? We want to inspire you, we want to empower you, we want to share like a little bit of us with you, because this is important to us. And I do believe, if you feel like, you're learning something, if you feel like you feel maybe more confident, or you no longer feel alone, or anything that could be, just let people know, because it is as much important. But the question that I have for you is, you said do what's right. Would you make a difference between doing what's right and doing what you feel is right?
100% there's a
Mhm.
difference because our feelings can be false. Like
Oh
like
yeah.
for example, you hear people say, "I'm just speaking my truth." I don't trust people that say that all the time because your truth simply is your version of the truth and your perspective based on a given situation. And if you don't have all the information, you still don't know what the truth is. Like when I run across, and I say this all the time, when you have an issue with people, their first reaction lets you know if you should sit down and engage with them or if you should run the hell away from them. And this is what I mean. When you first engage with somebody, especially if it's a potentially conflict situation, if their
Mm-hmm.
first thing is a statement, you need to get up and run because they've already made up in their mind what's going on and everything else is just confirmation bias. If their first thing is a question, then they're open to hearing from you and they're really looking for the absolute capital T truth, not their version of the truth. And so, business consulting, Malene, that is pretty much what an internal auditor does, and you're looking for the truth always to try and help people be better, help yourself be better. So when I say to somebody, "Hey, I want to talk to you about something," and I explain what it is, and they say, "Well, you can't do that," or "Well, you did this," I'm out because I already know that they're coming from a place of being objective. So to answer
Yeah.
your question, yeah, yeah, yes. That's a long way of saying yes, yes.
That was a great answer. Thank you. Do you have any, so any of you can answer that question. Do you have any regrets in 2022?
Yes.
Maybe. Yes, tell us more. Oh, this one was like, came from the heart.
That was quick
It
too.
did. Allowing my emotions to get the best of me and
Right.
deterring me from posting or being able to show up. So I would share with anybody, emotions are going to come. How can you turn that into something? Don't let
Right.
it stop you for the day. Like, let it be for that moment. But what can you do to get away from that? Because as you know, we all have our days, but you can maybe go for a walk. I know there are podcasts out there that actually they're meditating while you're walking. And I was playing those and I realized, oh, I should have played these a little bit more sooner. Or just
Mhm.
realizing, like, okay, you have your day, you have certain things that you need to do. Sometimes we need a break. It's okay, but what are you going to do? How are you going to make this time up? Because at the end of the day, we don't have lead unless you're paying for it. We don't have leads just coming in. It comes
Mm,
because of connecting, starting those conversations, getting on the calls. Yes, not every call that you get on, if it's a sales call, you're going to close the person, but you can still learn something. You can still get a win. Make a friend. Oh, you learn how to go live for the first time, or maybe it's just another way of looking at a problem.
Mm.
yeah, that's very true. Milan, do you have any regrets?
Absolutely. I would say that allowing myself to um, according to past patterns or past trauma, right? And I
Mm.
believe that success leaves scars. And I think that not enough of us have achieved success really talk about the scars that you endure and the wounds that you endured along the way to get far. I mean, a lot of times we just celebrate, wow, you made it. But to make it, to achieve the
Yeah.
goals, it grit and getting into the grime and anxiety and all of these different things. And so not allowing myself to really sit in the process to that it took to become successful and really heal those wounds away, right? Because they will revisit you in different life, right? And
Yeah.
so scars that you or the wounds that you endure along the journey to success, scars thereafter, if we don't heal them, either you repeat those patterns or, example, for me, early years of building my first business, it took me 3.5 years to make my first business, and I sank into $3,000 in debt in my first business. And I continued away because I knew eventually it was successful. And I write about this entirely in my book, Lemonade. And so I told the life lemons that we navigate through, right? And turning those challenging experiences into success. You're turning them into success. I suffered with anxiety, panic attacks, and all these different
Yeah.
things. $300,000 in debt, live a life of anxiety, right?
Yeah.
And so just recognizing that, those challenges,
Mhm.
those experiences on your journey to success have to be healed, right? Or else you will visiting that trauma in other areas. And so I would say regret is not acknowledging those challenges along the way and really leaning into
Mhm.
how to heal them effectively. And speak of them. Say that
Yeah.
72% of owners suffer with mental health conditions. And
Wow.
that's of those that
Wow.
self-support. So there's,
A
and
lot.
higher than that. And so really saying that, hey, I'm feeling anxious today, right? Maybe I shouldn't make that, or maybe I should, right? So just really acknowledging trauma along the way and navigating through it. And I'm a proponent of that now, but that is a regret that early part of the year, I didn't realize success leaves scars, right? And
Ooh.
That that
Wow.
that was deep. And actually, one day I don't know, I don't remember who says that, but he said like success is painful. If there is no pain, there is no growth, and without growth there is no success, right? And I feel also, social media have made social media platforms have made entrepreneurship look easy,
right,
sexy,
right,
glamorous, when actually it's nothing but painful. And let's say it's not about, like killing yourself over it, or burning yourself out. This is not what we are talking about here, but like it takes grit, and it takes a lot of painful moments. That's how I would call it. Yes. Rob, any regrets this year?
All right. So I'm gonna say something controversial, but just hear me out. So I'm big on words, right? Regret means a feeling of sadness over something that has happened or something that you've done. I don't do regret. Now, I do believe that going forward and just trying things in life, it does cause pain and it does leave scars. So I think we all agree on that. But for
Mm-hmm.
me, I look back and I'm like, this is what I did, and this was very stupid. Now, what can I learn from that? And
Right.
let's move forward. But I'm not sitting here wallowing in sadness. Now, that doesn't mean I don't ever get sad, but I don't do regret. When I see it knocking at my door, I close the door, pull the blinds down, put up the do not disturb sign. Let's go.
I think it's about changing your perspective. And like it is true with everything in life, no matter what happens, you can change your perspective and decide. You have the power to decide from what perspective you want to see and observe the things that are happening to you or for you, right? So I think
Right.
it's
Well,
about
here's the other thing. I do
mm.
stupid stuff all the time. So if I experience regret, I'd be sad all the doggone time. You know what I mean? That's the. I'm just saying.
You know,
Ah,
one of my university professors told me, uh, left me with a thought that resonated with me for years. He said, you know, live your life going forward, but you'd have no regret when you look back. And that
mm,
really, my early 20s, hearing that, I thought,
Mm.
wow, mindful as you are progressing forward, that, you know, just in daily life, imagine how different we lived that way. And I
Yeah.
think, Darine, in our podcast that we had together this year, I think I talked about the idea of living your life right in your obituary, right? Like, what do I want to be remembered for? Thinking right now,
mhm,
what do we want to be remembered for in 2020? What do we want 2023 to like? Robert, when you spoke earlier, out of the idea of integrity, you know, person of integrity, right? Good person, even when it hurts, you know, telling the truth, even when it hurts. So I think if we are mindful about lives going forward, then it minimizes that, right?
Oh yeah,
true.
for sure. But here's the thing too. So think about this. Everybody has driven in a car, right? When you're driving in your car, you look at the front, you have this huge windshield that you look through. And then the thing that you
Mhm.
look backwards in is this little bitty mirror at the top.
Oh,
You
yeah.
might have some little bitty mirrors on the side. Why? Because your focus needs to be straight ahead. All
Right,
that stuff back there, you're just looking at that from a cautionary standpoint to make sure somebody's not coming from behind you trying to sideswipe you. But most of your attention is focused forward. Every once in a while, you look back. Oh, I'm safe. I'm still safe. Let's continue forward. You look up
right.
again. Oh, wait a minute. Here comes a little bit of danger. Let me move out of the way. Continue looking forward. Look, I ain't going that way.
I love
Mm-hmm.
the analogy. This is very true. And oftentimes, to echo what you're saying and what Melane was saying also, is we give too much importance to the past when actually much of our attention should focus on what's coming, on looking forward. Indeed, so I really like the analogy. What can we wish you for 2023? What can we wish you? What's the best that we can wish you for 2023?
Success, health, and happiness.
Ooh.
She got two of mine. I was about to say health and happiness.
Yeah. How about you, Milan?
I would say love, faith, and peace.
Ooh, peace is an important one, especially nowadays. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, and then that would be my last question for you. What was your weirdest moment of the year?
weird. Yes.
Like
Whole
the
year.
least probable uh, event of the year.
It was okay.
Well,
So it's not an event.
Say it again, three.
It's not an event. It was just the realization, like, whoa, I'm putting on some weight that I've never had before. I work out, and it was just like realizing, wait. So
Oh yeah, that's
movement.
not a cool moment. I know
It's
that. I went
not a
through
cool
that as well.
moment, but
No.
understanding what movement is and how movement plays a role in your daily life. It's not just about health, but it's also about clearing of your mind, being able to think. We need a time in our day where we just do nothing but just think and be in the moment. And so that's what I learned, how movement helped with that.
mm,
True, true. You know, when you exercise, actually, you can be more focused and more productive. I mean,
yes.
there is a lot of studies that shows it, huh?
Yes, I do work out. No, don't get me wrong. I lift very heavy, but I'm talking about just going for a walk,
Yeah.
20, 30
Yeah.
minutes, just walking. Even if you're putting on, there's the Calm app, there's on Spotify, some different walking meditations. Just be in that moment. Have yourself, even if it's set aside daily, just 20 minutes and it leads to more time, you'll notice a difference.
Yes.
100%. W- Rob, you want to say something? What was your weirdest moment? I know, we know you had many weird moments. No?
Moving to Houston.
I would say the whole doggone year. Did look, I can honestly say that the last 2 to 3 years I have been thrown so far out of my comfort zone, I don't even know where it is anymore. And that's been a really
Yes.
good thing. So my entire life since the beginning of 2020 has been just weird. I mean, I'm sitting here on a show with my friend in Canada, right? Wait, best yet, I'm sitting here on a show. Before 2020,
Yeah.
never was I on live on the internet doing anything. I run like 4 different podcasts now. That's
Wow.
insane. I'm flying across the country doing keynote speeches and stuff. Like, what weirdest moment? Every single day I wake up that I'm not dead. I mean,
This is a blessing, though. I wouldn't say this is weird. I would say this is a blessing.
oh, all this stuff is weird.
Okay.
Everything is just weird.
Yeah, I believe like the pandemic has impacted every one of us, right? But the shift that we had to, or that had to happen in our life is just crazy. Same for me, like having a show. If it was not because of the pandemic, I would have never started a show. Like honestly, this is the weirdest thing for me. And yeah, you're right. Like the shift that needed to happen throughout the past 3 years that we went through is just something that is weird. Yes. How about you, Milan?
Oh, I would say for me, here and in promoting my book, how to take pictures and be on podcasts and all these different things. Definitely weird for me because I'm not. I don't like, and I don't like to be in the forefront, and just recognizing that if my is going to be received by the world, I have myself out, right, and I have to
Hmm.
promote myself and so interviews and etc. So this is weird for me, even just being here on the show. So um,
Right?
yeah, the whole marketing, just all of what that is, definitely weird for me.
Yeah. Okay. So, wow, what a great conversation. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. For those of you watching the live and the replay, as you can see, and this is important for us to share everything in all transparency because, listen, when it's weird, it's weird. When it's positive, it's positive. And when it's ugly, what can we learn from it? Right. And it's this show is really about showcasing the stories of other leaders, of people who dare, to speak their truth and not to pretend that everything is perfect in a perfect world, because trust me, and I can bet on this one, no one of us, none of us has it perfect out there, right? So I hope you found this episode and conversation inspiring. So Melane, if people want to learn more about what you do and about your book, where can they find you?
They can find me on my website. It's MelaneMullings.com. I'm also on LinkedIn, Instagram. I am Melane Mullings. Facebook, um, at Melane Mullings fan.
See, so Melane Mullings, her name is on the screen. Just Google her and you will see the amazing things that she does. She's a superstar here in Canada. You see her like these people? She's touring the country to sign her books, right? So, like, this is a privilege. So, thank you so much for being with us, Melane. How about you, Sri? So, for the people who wanna step up and start doing videos on social media, because listen, videos is the present and videos is the future. So either you like it or not, we talked about going outside of your comfort zone. Getting on videos is the first step, in my opinion, that you should take. So tell us a little bit more how you can help them and where can they find you.
You can definitely find me here on Instagram, sorry, LinkedIn and Instagram. But I would say, just like Darine said, you can Google me and you'll find me. But first, start here on LinkedIn. I also have a free Facebook community where I provide content that's exclusive. For example, today I'm going live teaching the group how to use Restream, how to set up a live event so that they can use that to be able to do that for their own. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can definitely join in. I'll drop the link to join the
Mhm.
free Facebook community. But if you're thinking, you know what, I don't want to do that, I want to work with you one on one, I do have that. So just message me video and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so Sri, Melane, please drop your links in the comment section so people have direct access to it. And I will end with this kind message from Roberto Brutus, who says, "I wish you the best, Darine, for next year, and your guest ladies as well. Happy holidays, you guys. You make me love you guys, and we appreciate you, and we love you back as well. So thank you, everyone. You take care. You stay safe." Enjoy the holidays. If you are, no matter what you are celebrating, enjoy yourself, enjoy time with your loved one. And I will see you next week, Friday, for another live episode of Stand Out from the Crowd. So thank you, everyone, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.